Good evening, everybody. What's happening? This your girl Tiffany here, live in effect. So I'm coming through today because I want to have a conversation about a situation that happened in Atlanta where a young lady attempted to set Dr. King's birth home on fire. Now, his house is located in the Auburn Avenue area, the house that he was born and raised in. Okay, so the young lady, for some reason, poured the gasoline on the front porch of the house and tried to set it on fire. But the bystanders who saw her, they stopped her before she could even start doing it. The question becomes why? What was her motive? What was her purpose? So before I start talking about it, let me go ahead and go to the news source. Okay. All right. So let's go to the news source. This comes from Fox 5 Atlanta.
Learning more about the woman accused of trying to set Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthplace on fire. We're hearing from the two brothers who held her until police arrived. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us tonight for Fox 5 News at 5. I'm Tom Hayes.
I'm Courtney Bryant. The video shows how close it could have been to a catastrophic loss. You can see a woman appearing to pour gasoline on the outside of the house. And tonight we're hearing from the two brothers who stepped in and prevented a fire.
Fox 5's Eric Perry, who's live outside the home on Auburn Avenue with the very latest. Eric, still so hard to believe.
Yeah, if you didn't have the video, you probably would not believe it. Tom, Courtney, hello to both of you. Really, that 26-year-old Lanisha Henderson had already heavily doused the front of this home with that flammable liquid there, but she just didn't have anything to actually start the fire. Also, those people standing around jumped in before she could. This video shows the moments officials say 26-year-old Lanisha Henderson poured gas
Wow.
gasoline on the front of the historic birthplace of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. We first introduced you to Zach Kemp, who poured gasoline on the front of the historic birthplace of civil rights leader. Start the fire. Also, those people standing around jumped in before she could. This video shows the moments officials say 26-year-old Lanisha Henderson poured gasoline on the front of the historic birthplace of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. We first introduced you to Zach Kemp, who initially saw the woman Thursday afternoon just before 6, and he stepped in to stop her. But there are other heroes in the story.
Close the car, you can smell the gasoline. So I told the guy back away from the house, and he says, no, I think she had gas. She was going to burn down the house.
Retired New York police officers Kenny Dodson and his brother Axel were out visiting sites when duty called. They say they could smell the gas the moment they stepped out of the car, and when Henderson took off running, so did they.
So I looked to my brother, and I said, let's go get her. So we jumped back in our rental red Tesla and chased her down the street. And we saw her trying to run behind the house. We jumped out the car, we chased her behind the home, and we was able to pin her down and apprehend her behind the house. It seemed like she was having a mental episode. We knew that she wasn't high. She wasn't high, she wasn't drunk, she wasn't intoxicated, she didn't have any smell to her, but she seemed like something was off. He didn't stop her while she was up there. You know, she would have lit the house on fire. Like my brother said, it's all wood. So that thing went up like a freaking match.
It is a crown jewel, and not only is it a crown jewel, it's probably, in my opinion, the most iconic historic resource in the city of Atlanta.
The center means so much to so many, but for Judy Forte, she's dedicated the past 17 years to the site.
Just a blessing that these individuals happen to be on site because the park was closed, and normally people will be about not visiting the site.
The great thing about it was to make a collar with my little brother. I never got a chance to do when we was on the job.
Yeah, talk about being at the right place at the right time, Kenny and Axel, and also just having the memories moving forward. After why Henderson did it, that is still unknown at this time. Authorities are working to really figure out the motive behind this case. We can confirm that she was in the military, the Navy specifically, and she had won several different awards before she left that post there. We do know that she was taken to the hospital, but she's now behind bars, Fulton County. She faces several different charges, arson, but there also could be federal charges on the way as well. In downtown Atlanta, I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
Just shocking that someone would attempt.
All right. So the story itself is disturbing, very disturbing. Nobody really knows what was the intention of this young lady. Now, you heard the clip that she has served in the armed forces in the Navy, right? And it would suggest that she had some type of mental episode or mental illness going on. But out of all places, right? Why try to or make the attempt to burn down the home of a civil rights leader? Why make the attempt out of all places? Again, she could have a mental episode, who knows? And then it could have been other things going on. But I just never, this like my first time ever hearing about this, because the people in Atlanta have a lot of respect for that area where Dr. King grew up at, that house. That house ain't never been touched. Only time people go by that house is when they going to take a tour around it. That's it. But other than that, nobody ever touched that area. And then we have people, black folks on the internet talking a bunch of shit. Oh, she must be an immigrant. Oh, she must not be a black American. She was born in America, but she probably had parents that doesn't even make any sense. Whether this girl was an immigrant or her parents were immigrants, right? Or whether her parents were born here in America and their parents came from America, it still doesn't make it right what she did. And when people talk about Africans, they don't respect our culture. That's bullshit. The Caribbeans do something. The Caribbean, I could see if they would do something like that because they don't respect our culture. That's bullshit. Stop using a situation like this to try to marginalize a certain group of black people. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all want to call them tithers or ithers or whatever you want to call them, tithers, whatever the new terminology they use out these days. I don't know the new terminology. Let me see. Peace, Sister Jelanda. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. It just, like people use the other situation what happened to Tyreek Nichols in Memphis, Tennessee, when he lost his life to 5 black police officers. The question, instead of worrying about the fact that this is a young black man that lost his goddamn life, y'all worry about whether he was an immigrant or not, or his parents were immigrants. It made no sense to me. So y'all not caring about the fact that somebody tried to burn down Dr. King's house. Y'all worry about if this girl was an immigrant. Now it's stupid. Instead of asking what is the intention, what is the motive, why? Because I want to know why. I'm looking for the answer as to what caused this young lady to do what she did. And what was she going to get out of it? Why? Why just pick that house? Why not pick any other location? Why is it that a black person going into a black area, a predominantly black area, into a historical location to try to destroy it? Why? Because what I see is that this person has a coon mentality. Then again, this person might be mentally ill. Who knows? But when I think of that, you have to be a coon to do something like that. You really have to be a coon. And it shows that there's lack of respect for individuals who have laid their life on the line for us as a people. When we look at this generation, especially, right, there's little to no respect for the foundation they standing on. And it's not solely their fault, okay? It's not their fault per se. Because what we dealing with is the toxicity that's been perpetuated and carry on from generation, where we don't value our ancestors. We don't value culture enough, and we don't care enough about our own. We don't protect the legacy of those who laid their life on the line or who made a way for us. Now, there's a fraction, there's a small percentage that actually uphold the principles, the philosophy, the ideology, the practice that our people passed on down. But there is a significant number of our folks that just don't give a damn, just don't give a fuck. Now, we don't know this young lady's situation. We don't know if she currently homeless, um, if she destituted. We don't know enough about her situation. Hopefully, there's more information coming out. But I will say this: in Atlanta, okay, and it's all over, but in Atlanta in particular, if you ever come to visit and you go in the downtown area, you're going to see a lot of homeless people. There's a lot of homeless people. There is a lot of people who are currently battling with mental illness. There is a lot of people who are destituted that lives in the downtown area. It's a lot of things that you're going to witness. And you're going to see, for those of you who may not be familiar or may not be used to being around certain individuals, you're going to see unusual behaviors out the norm. You're going to see folks eating out of trash cans. You see what I'm saying? So, again, we don't know this young lady's situation. We don't know if she's homeless. We don't know if she's mentally ill. We don't know that to be a fact. Hmm. But this here, I'm flabbergasted. I'm gonna be honest. I'm very flabbergasted that Somebody would make that type of attempt. And those brothers, shout out to those brothers for making sure that she didn't go that far. Shout out to them. Shout out for these two gentlemen stopping her in her track. Hmm. Yeah, I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted because I wish that this same energy or this same attitude would be towards the very same system who do not meet our needs and fulfill our obligation when it comes to resources, when it comes to making sure that we get funding for our education, also for other serious issues, housing crisis, other issues such as sex trafficking. I wish people have this same type of energy. Now, if she had the energy to put it into the right direction, I would understand that a lot better. But what she doing and or what she did, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Mm. But I know there's gonna be more information coming about regard to this young lady. So maybe we'll find out what the hell is going on. I don't want to assume that she on drugs because obviously, if y'all saw the video, the girl looked like she knew what the fuck she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was pouring that damn gasoline, and I wonder where the hell she get the gasoline from. How did she get access to the gasoline and went down to that location? How? Where did she get it from? Where did she go? And did she get dropped off at the location, or did she walk her happy tail down there and decide to do some shit? What? There's a lot of questions that need to be asked. Mm. I'm very flabbergasted. Mm. Mm. I'm just trying to process all of this. So if I'm being quiet for right now, yeah, I'm just trying to process this whole thing. I'm trying to figure out wow. Why? 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 I don't know. Mm. And then what's crazy, the family done put up a fight to keep that house there. They could have had that house demolished a long time ago. like any other historical sites. But that was a fight to keep that house there because it represents somebody who was an icon. Not just because he was from the city, but for the fact that he put in so much work, especially for the black community. And what people don't know, speaking of Dr. King, this man had his own campaign called the Poor People Campaign. He had the Poor People Campaign, which was specifically focusing on the inner city poor, the working class. Many people don't know that. I mean, just look at, I can only feel for the family of Dr. King because looking at what your father, your grandfather, your uncle have done over the years, especially trying to do right by his own people, losing his life, and this is like the slap to the face. I mean, to hear about your own kind, trying to set fire to the birth home of your ancestors. I mean, hmm. But speaking of mental health, we gotta check on our health, man. We really gotta check on our mental. We have to make sure that we are in a place where we can function. Just because we appear to be calm, just because we appear to be sane, just because we appear to be normal, does not mean that we don't have any psychological issues. And a lot of times that comes from a place of trauma. It comes from a place of trauma and just societal pressure in general. Societal pressure plays a factor on our mental health. If your mind is gone, then everything else is falling apart as well. If your mind is gone, everything else is falling apart. So again, could the girl be suffering from PTSD? Maybe. Maybe she could be suffering from that. Who knows? She might have PTSD. Or she might just be a coon. I mean, she might be a coon. She might be a Sambo. Mm. But anyways, that's all I gotta say for this evening. I appreciate you guys for watching and tuning in. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and hit the channel. Hit the notification bell, share the channel, etc. Check out the previous video. So I'm let me see what the brother put. Or attention seeker. You know what? That could be a strong possibility. She could be an attention seeker. She might be looking for attention, but she looking for attention in the wrong place. She might be looking at it from the wrong place because you got the wrong type of attention. Now your ass is looking at felonies. Not only you looking at state crimes, but you're looking at federal crime too. She got the attention that she wanted. Then, if that's the case, she got what she wanted. Hmm. However, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Check out all the previous video that I have done. You can make sure you share the videos and whatnot. Okay. So I will keep you guys posted. This generation is starving for attention. Yeah. And you know, it's just people in general. Certain individuals want attention. But then it will cost you. It will backfire on you as well. Because you get the wrong type of attention. And it does not always work out for your best interest. You guys have a good evening and be safe. So peace and power and elevation. Goodbye.